Welcome to another edition of Eye on Education. I'm your host, Ed Lecious. Today, we're going to talk about a gem in Nashua. For over 50 years, it's occupied property on Amherst Street. Many drive by it every day. And for the last 25 years, the leader of that institution has been Lucille Jordan. She joins us today. Lucille, welcome to Eye on Education.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
New Hampshire Technical Institute, New Hampshire Technical College, VOC for short,
Yes.
and now Nashua Community College, or just some of the
Well, there were a couple of names in between
plus,
there. Quite a few.
You guys have come a long way.
Yes, we have. We really have. You know, we are now a comprehensive community college. So when I first arrived, we were the VOTech, and then we moved to being the technical college. Then there was a merger. So we were New Hampshire Technical College, Nashua Claremont. And then the merger changed and we were separated again, and we became New Hampshire Community Technical College at Nashua. And then it was determined to change the name, and I think we did that under Governor Lynch. And a lot of the colleges did different names, but because we're in the city and we really, this is such a vibrant city, and we really wanted to be identified with the city, that we chose to be Nashua Community College, not any other name, which, you know, there were names like Gateway thrown out and other names, but we really wanted Nashua in our name.
What brought you to Nashua?
What brought me to Nashua? I think I had been in Ohio, and my parents always were in New England, and they had passed away, but I came, I would always come in the summer to New England, and I missed it greatly. And there was an opportunity, and I applied to the national search, and here I am. So.
And you have taken the college through a number of changes. For some 28 years. I was your neighbor.
Yes.
And wouldn't even know you were there. That's how well run it was, and even with expansion. Over the years, presidents, wannabe presidents, and other national figures have used the campus.
Absolutely.
Both President Bushes, Hillary Clinton, just to name a couple. I believe Bill Clinton too.
Bill Clinton, both Bushes, absolutely. Actually, we had Vice President Gore there.
Okay.
So we've had a whole host all across. And President Clinton was there. We've also had, you know, all of the candidates that run through. It's been exciting for the college, exciting for the students. You want on-hands learning in civics, it's right there.
And it certainly has helped draw attention to the facility. And you've had three godfathers, if you will.
Yes.
Two of whom grew up in Nashua.
Yes.
One who chose to move from Massachusetts to Nashua. But all three of them have helped you and the school grow and prosper over the years, and that's former Governor Walter Peterson, former Governor, Congressman, Senator Judd Gregg, and former Mayor and Executive Councilor Bernie Streeter. They've all had different roles, but they've all had one goal, and that was to keep you viable, and you are ahead of the curve in many of the programs that are there, and make sure that they happen.
You know, when I first came to New Hampshire, my mentor was Walter Peterson. And I had done some work in Ohio for Governor Rhodes, and they were very good friends. And so I got in touch with Governor Peterson right away, and he was at that time the interim commissioner of the system. And he sat me down, and we had a great conversation, but one of the advice that he gave me was always remember that you have a responsibility to the public good. And I think when we have built our college, and one of the reasons you don't even realize we're there sometimes is because we could have had a sprawling buildings all over the place, but we recognize that we're an urban campus, we are in a residential area. Whenever we do something, we've also gone to the city when we haven't had to go to the city to inform them, to get their support. So all our buildings connect, and that is intentional. so that we honor the green space. There isn't a lot of green space there. We have neighbors behind us. And we also have, and it was Walter Peterson who did this, a public-private watershed with Pennachuck on our land. So we've been very respectful of the community in which we serve. And that is really important. It's about post-secondary education, which is our primary mission, but it's about access to students and access to the community. Right now we're in the middle of construction, but our gym on Friday nights is for the basketball team with the special needs, and they use our gym on Friday nights, and they're welcome to use it, and they use it all the time. We have the symphony using it, so we try to open it up to the community, and not really, there's not affordable places for people, and we want to make that happen, and we want to make people continue to be part of the fabric, and so we don't charge people most of the time.
Well, I know when I was doing my community policing and had my neighborhood watch up there, you graciously opened the college to us for our meetings.
Oh, yeah.
And it was convenient for the people that lived in the neighborhood to come there. Some of them were held in houses, but for this particular one, it was great to be able to go to the college. And you mentioned the construction, and that's really what brought you here today.
Yes.
Exciting times,
Yes.
huge renovation going on at the school.
Yes, this is long overdue. While we did add buildings to the college, the one thing that we recognize now is that we really need to repurpose space. It is not about adding buildings, it's how do we best use the space. And the initial building of the college for 50 years hasn't been touched. And it has an engineering program. And our engineering program is a stellar program. We just went through accreditation, and the Good Housekeeping seal of approval for any engineering program in higher education, 2 or 4, is ABET. And it's the American Board of Engineering Technology. And we received a glowing report. And only 20% of the 2 and 4 year colleges who go through that process are the only ones who never get a finding. We never had one finding. And that only 20% of the higher education institutions across this nation get that. And so we were very honored. And we are in the process, the construction is for our electrical engineering program, which really has been very much supported by BAE. They have been absolutely wonderful. They helped in my testimony for this. And then it will be our mechanical design program, our computer engineering program, and all of our math and all of our computer labs will be there. So it's the 2nd and 3rd floor. So it's a dramatic change to what it will look like. The students will walk in and they're really going to feel that they're in this new space. Not only the aesthetic piece of it, but when you look at the equipment and you look at the labs and the conference rooms and the study areas that they'll be able to do is really important. Because one of the things that is of great concern to me is to make sure, when we came out of COVID, a lot of our students went on remote. And online is a part of what we do. I would say 29% of our offerings are online. But it's really important for that transformation piece, for when they go out, is that piece where they're working with others and taking other, opinions. And I worry that when they're online, they're not doing that. They're isolating themselves. And I think it's really important when we deliver online that we have these group meetings and that they must attend them, so that there still is that interaction, because isolation can occur real quick.
Well, what's happening is really exciting, and we do have some animated video of what's going on, and so let's take a look at that now. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, it is exciting. It is. It's been a long process when we first went for the design for that. I will say one unique thing did happen in getting the capital money for that. The initial, we had a small amount for planning, and at that time they couldn't give me all the money, but you know what they did, and Ed, you would understand this, they footnoted that they would give us the remaining money in the next biennium. And that shows the commitment of the legislature to the engineering programs and what we do. And you have to really, it's interesting, you always have to be ahead. It's really important. Like right now I'm looking at semiconductors, making sure that that renovation will include the opportunity to offer the training in that area. That's going to come to Nashua, and we need to be ready to have those students to train it. We can't wait till it happens.
Right.
We have to be ahead.
And you have been over the years. I mean, you mentioned BAE on this particular project, but I think the other key to the success that you have brought to the college is the collaboration with the business community, and likewise, they're playing it forward with you, because I think they see the value in getting students into a program, in some instances that have been particularly tailored for the business, or at least will give these students a foot in the door going forward.
Yeah, we have boot camps too. One of the things that we've done, and you know, the challenge has been for almost everybody in post-secondary education, a lot of our high school kids right now are going right to work immediately, and because they're getting these great offers. The other piece, however, is that we know, and business understands, they need to continue their training. And so rather than competing with one another, what we do when we have an open house, we invite all of business and industry partners to come, and they're at a table with our faculty. And so they may be recruiting to hire someone, but at the same time, we're talking about training. And so we have adjusted our scheduling to accommodate so that a student can work, the business and industry gets that employee that they need, and yet we can still do the training or the education that's necessary. It's happened, for instance, in precision manufacturing. What we've done is we've moved our program to the evening so that these students can be during the day working, because manufacturing is in desperate need for really high skilled. So you can't work separate from one another. We have to work collaboratively so that we can support one another.
Yeah, times have changed.
Drastically.
And you also had a ongoing program for a number of years now where students in the high school can earn credits towards their degree at the community college.
Yes, it is. It's a Running Start program, so we have high school faculty who have the same credentials as they would if they were teaching at the college, and the students enroll, and there are scholarships. Anyone going into the STEM courses, the math, the science, the engineering, automotive, there is a scholarship from the legislature that pays for that. And the other courses like English Comp, that would really come from either. We have scholarship dollars for a student who couldn't afford it. So there is really no barrier for a student when it comes to monetary. They should be able to access that course if they're willing and able to do it. The other thing we do is an early college. And we're branching that out now. Early colleges where students come to our campus and sit in the same classroom as our other students. And they're still in high school. A lot of homeschooling students also access that program. And it's not at full tuition, it's at half of the tuition. And they can access that through until they graduate. The other thing that's happening is that it's happening in Nashua and other schools, and we're doing this right now at another high school, where they don't have the faculty anymore to teach the course. So our faculty are going to the high school and teaching the course, and the students getting the credit at the same time, because they're also our pipeline, and they're the pipeline to business and industry. But it is extremely difficult, not only now to find teachers, but to find teachers in your technical and professional fields. It is a challenge.
How challenging has it been for your automotive program with the slowdown in the manufacturing of vehicles because of the chip problem? Has that impacted your auto program at all?
No, it hasn't. As a matter of fact, we've added another manufacturing program, Mazda. So we now have Mazda, Honda, and our multi-make and auto collision. So there has been a bit of a slowdown, and the only reason the slowdown is because the demand for service techs is so high that the students are going directly from high school learning that changing oil. But we're working with, most of our dealers are wonderful, and they want these individuals to get their associate's degree. I mean, Tully has been absolutely wonderful in supporting the Mazda program. And so we've been very fortunate, from, Peggy over at Peters. So that support for education is very strong within the automotive industry.
Going forward, what do you see as your challenge in the future?
What do I see as our challenge? Our challenge, I would say, is the continuing funding, providing access to to all. How is it that we're going to get, as we face all of these challenges, many of these families facing challenges and how to pay for education. So that will be one of the challenges. How do we pay for it? And keep the quality at the same time. That's really probably the greatest challenge that we have is access.
I know you have a vision for the future.
Yes, I do.
An additional program to the college. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Actually, they're meeting today. We're really looking at broadening our aviation program. So we've had an aviation mechanics FAA approved program for over 20 years at the college, and we took a break to assess it, and we realized that we were very fortunate in getting a huge earmark from Senator Shaheen to update the program. We have a freshman class in there now and accepting students. And what we want to be able to do is to create an aviation academic center that would be have avionics in it. It would have airport management and air traffic control, and then our maintenance program. And we are looking to do that. We're looking to see in the next capital request for a hangar, or how do we work with the airport. Many options are taking a look at right now for our students. But to be that hub for New England, there isn't anything else like it at a public institution. And I stress that because that makes it affordable. It's very expensive otherwise, and to attract individuals into the field, we're going to need to do this. And air traffic controllers are going to be in high demand. And so there is nothing right now in New England for air traffic control.
So you seem to have weathered the COVID, and enrollment remains steady.
Very steady. Actually, it's coming back and increasing. So it is, we're very fortunate in that regard. I think it's because we kept the quality. You know, during COVID, we didn't totally shut down. You can't learn in automotive or nursing. You can't do it online. And there's required hours in aviation too as well. So what we were able to do was to keep our labs open, the lectures were online, and we isolated it. And we had a lot of restrictions, but they still attended class. We reduced it so maybe there were only 8 in the class as opposed to a full class. But then they came all week long, and they didn't miss a step. And so we're very proud of that, that we're able to do that. But now, you know, it's wonderful to be in the halls and to hear the voices, because it was so quiet. And, you know, and now to hear the voices, to see student life, to see the students now going out and doing their community service, and it's exciting for me again.
Given the volume of traffic on Amherst Street, I'm sure the people know it's a college. They see the sign. They perhaps, however, many may have not gone in.
Yep.
Take a look. If someone's interested in finding out what you have to offer, is there a website they can go to?
Yes, they can go to the website, which is www.nashuacc.edu, and there is significant information on there. There's always someone in admissions to call to. Any one of us pick up the phone. I pick up the phone. You can call me directly. My extension's 1522. So, you know, I'm always willing to you know, when you see my door is open. One of the unique things, the office when I first arrived at the college is way back in the corner, and I really wanted to have access. So my door opens up into a main hallway, and I hear students, and I can hear a student saying, oh, I'm really having a problem with financial aid. I'll pop out of my desk, pull that student in, and find out what's going on, because what's really important is for those students to be successful. And we want to remove any barrier that that student might experience. I mean, we have tutoring for our students at absolutely no charge, and we want to make sure that they indeed are successful. So we're constantly looking at that. You know, one of the things that I'm learning is how students, after 14 weeks, they kind of shut off a little bit. So do we rearrange our semesters and have, you know, how do we change that? You always are looking ahead. You can't look behind. You learn from your history, which is really important. But at a community college, you are serving the community. And you're not only serving students who are going to transfer to a 4-year institution, and we have one of the only honors programs, and we've had students who have gone on to Cornell, who have a free ride to Cornell and Johns Hopkins. She was on, actually, Stace was on the front of their magazine. A student who graduated from us who is now a doctor who went on to Johns Hopkins, and many other stories very similar to that out of our honors program. Because what we've realized is we need to serve, it's a comprehensive college, so there are all sorts of students for many different reasons who come to our college. And we need to respond to that because often it's finances. They're not ready to go to a four-year college. There's reasons why they need to stay at home, at least for the first 2 years. And many students at 18 years old don't know what they want to do. And parents don't want to throw money away. So they're saying, let's take a look over here at the community college. And then they're realizing, because our reputation has changed so much, that we're able to do that. The other thing that's changed in the college, when you asked me about challenges, is we now have 20% of our population is Latinx. So we are an emerging Hispanic serving institution. So that is changing the demands upon the institution as well for us to hire, and we have very qualified bilingual staff so that we can better support too, because it's changing the dynamic of Nashua too.
Well, you've done a fabulous job. You've assembled a great team.
Yes, I have.
And if you're not answering your phone, it's because you're either in a meeting, but more likely you're either in the hallways or you're at some community function, because you are certainly very visible, and I think that has been a part of the success for you and the college. And
well, thank you.
wish you continued success.
I thank you so much. It's just an honor to be part of Nashua.
Well, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Our guest today has been Lucille Jordan, president of the Nashua Community College. Thanks for watching EYe on Education, and we'll see you again next time.